What's your holy shish tea it works moment? Looking at the opposing person's elbow while high-fiving to get a perfect slap every time. This is one of my favorite bar tricks. No one believes it until they try it. When learning guitar, the first time my left hand made a chord automatically via muscle memory rather than consciously putting each finger into place. It's like a tiny miracle. The first time I played the F major bar chord was amazing to me. But now I'm on to B major. Ugh. Yeah, it's tough, but once you have the 4 common bar chords down you can play pretty much any song. I read the book Never Split the Difference, which was written by an FBI hostage negotiator about how to use negotiation tactics in everyday life. Around the time that I was reading it, my sister asked me to talk to her oldest son about some poor choices he was making, getting into the wrong crowd and all that. Against all odds he still thinks I'm cool, so I decided I'd give it a shot and use some of what I'd read in the book to get him to talk. One of the big things in the book is mirroring, wherein you just repeat the last thing that a person said and they keep unpacking what they're talking about, without actually being asked a question. The author describes it like a Jedi mind trick because it allows you to get the person talking without them ever feeling interrogated. They essentially interview themselves. So I tried it with my nephew and it was friggin' amazing. He's normally kind of quiet and doesn't like to talk too much about himself, but I asked him one question and then mirrored his response and boom, he started talking. I was amazed at how that junk worked. Edit. Many have asked, what do you do if it doesn't work? Obviously this can happen. That's where the other components of negotiation come in. One method is intentionally mislabeling something a person feels or believes, which motivates them to get talking. It sounds like you were frightened about this. I'm not frightened, I'm upset. That kind of thing. There are a bunch of different ways to get people talking. Also asking how questions whenever possible. Those are open-ended and give the person speaking the opportunity to explain something, and people generally like telling how they did things. It gives them a feeling of superiority. Don't ask why questions because they're accusatory. Try to get them to say no, as it gives them a feeling of safety, especially when you're okay with them saying no. When you hear someone express a belief, reword it back to them to show that you're listening and make it your goal to get them to say, that's right, which means they feel understood. Rather than saying, you're right, which really just means stop talking. It's a really good book and lots of methods discussed in it. Read it yourself if you want to see. Okay, this is really interesting. Can you give me an example of how mirroring works? Like say I said, why do you watch so much YouTube? And they say, I dunno, I just like it. How would you further that? You just like it? I think. Never really researched the topic myself. Like 90% of my rockets in Kerbal Space Program. I'm convinced they're sentient and only fly because they want to make me happy. I just go into sandbox, smack on 20 or so rockets, a couple of ladders, and wheels and call it a day. I had foot warts for years and tried various painful methods of getting rid of them that only seemed to aid their spread. Someone recommended tea tree oil to me and I scoffed at their essential oil asterisk 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 asterisk. They bought it for me so I figured I'd try it. Within the week they started to get smaller and recede. 3 months later the warts were completely gone and I could stop being embarrassed by my bare feet. This actually got a lot of people curious if anyone wanted to see. Here's a few pictures of the progress. When I started the whole process I asked my doctor first and she suggested trying duct tape. Several months later of that not working, I had a dermatologist appointment and she recommended OTC wart remover, just waiting a few years for them to go away. That made my skin crack and bleed and it spread the warts to more parts of my foot. I tried digging at them with razors when the acid burned away the surrounding skin, and freezing some. Nothing showed any signs of helping until I tried the tea tree oil. Some organic remedies have worked with some success for centuries, but unfortunately a lot of it is caught up and cluttered with the modern hip and vogue beep to sell to wheelable people. And GT. Some organic remedies have worked with some success for centuries, but unfortunately a lot of it is caught up and cluttered with the modern hip and vogue beep to sell to wheelable people. This is so true. I'm originally from an area that tea tree is native to. Lots of farms, harvest processing. I used it for pimples as a teen, disinfectant for bug bites. Same thing for eucalyptus and blocked sinuses, etc. Then at some point, these kinds of practical products were co-opted into the bizarre world of MLM and anti-vax etc. I'm still scratching my head as to how when it all started. Lowering my voice to diffuse an argument. We talk in volume or pitch. Both of these sound hilarious in an actual argument. In actual argument. Poaching an egg in a microwave. Had never managed to poach an egg, always ended up with egg drop soup, which isn't what you want for breakfast. A Redditor mentioned the microwave method. Break the egg into a small bowl of water, microwave for 45 seconds, and gave it a go. And it bloody well worked. No muss no fuss. That was a proud breakfast. Did you know you can also whip up a pretty great hollandaise sauce in the microwave? You beat 2 egg yolks, 1/2 a lemon and 1/2 a cup of melted butter and put it in the microwave for 15-second increments, each time beating it again until it's thick, and then you season it to taste, and that's it. You could do a whole eggs benedict in the microwave and it's not even hard. You leave the whites of the egg in. As a developer, every time a piece of code runs first time, no compile error, no seg fault or object not set to instance bugs, just straight up works first time. Until the paranoia sets in and you remember to not trust any code that runs first time. Every time I compile code without an error, I assume it's not being run, perhaps because I forgot to press save in the text editor, forgot to list the new file in the makefile, or somehow commented out the entire thing by accident. It may compile on the first try, but it'll never work. Do you also then go back and intentionally beep it up to see if it's really compiling? I've done that on more than one occasion, like throw in some syntax error somewhere. It's like the coding, pinch me to see if I'm awake. I work on cell towers for a living, and most of the time my crew is in some pretty beep remote areas. Truck battery died one day and it's about 8 p.m. getting real dark when we get the bright idea to start the diesel truck with 18V Milwaukee drill battery. So we cut the jumper cables in half and spliced some lugs onto the end, shoved them into the thin slots on the battery, connected the still intact jumper cable end to the truck, and it fired up instantly. No need to wait or anything. In fact, waiting will just drain the drill battery and not charge the truck battery. I seriously couldn't believe it worked. Half my brain was telling me that it's stupid, but I worked as an electrician apprentice for 2 years, so the other half of my brain was like, well, theoretically it should work. P.S. Just know your drill battery will be at 0% after that, so charge it again before you need it. I hope this comment doesn't get buried and actually helps someone. Edit. People are suggesting push starting it, but this tower was in a farmer's field and pushing a diesel truck through soft dirt wasn't gonna work. Even if it was possible, this method is far easier. Emo. Have my upvote. How can you tell which side is positive on the battery, assuming they aren't labeled clearly? All the as seen on TV beep my dad and I have bought. Most of it does exactly what it says. At least once. At least once? It always works the first time you use it. Depending on the product, the same can't be said for the second or third time you use it. I heard this bit of advice for those who have ADHD or ADHD tendencies about giving yourself a certain amount of time for all the tasks that need to be done in a single day. You also make a list of things you want to do, and you get to use the extra time to do something fun. My beep would procrastinate until the last moment, then sit and hate on myself for not doing the chores for an hour, and then use the last hour to do a rushed, mediocre job of whatever chores I can muster. Noticing the first hint of a muscle from working out. This happened to me. When I first started working out, I went 3 months without noticing anything. I was ready to give up, but I randomly stretched in front of the mirror one day and noticed my bicep flexing. That was an amazing feeling. Baking a dead graphics card in the oven for 10 minutes at approximately 400 degrees really can bring it back to life. Not always, but it worked for me. Holy *******, it works. I used to fix my phone by stuffing it in the freezer for a few hours. Was able to log in without any issues each time afterwards, when before it wouldn't process my password. I have no idea how it worked. Had to do the same thing with my old BlackBerry. It was worse in the summer, so I always assumed it was just overheating. So over winter my truck stopped blowing air on the defrosters. Lowest fix estimate was $1,000. Pretty sure the shops were trying to scam me. I tore my dash apart and figured out a door for changing, where the air is blown wasn't moving. I fixed it. Vaseline. How to fix anything mechanical. If it moves and it shouldn't, duct tape. If it doesn't and it should, WD-40. WD-40 is good for freeing stuff up but not for long-term lubrication. Vaseline is long-lasting and non-toxic. Also shouldn't eat away at plastics. Edit. Apparently it does damage plastic. Punching 90 into a microwave instead of 130. Or 99 if you want a little extra. Lol, my friend taught me the laziest way to get 30 seconds was to just press 33 instead. Photocopying food. Planted some trees and bushes 5 years ago. Once they get established, there are many ways to take one plant and turn it into